Your soulmate linked to your ex has finally spoken the truth. Don't scroll, listen to this, because the moment your eyes landed here, the universe leaned in, and your heart felt it before your mind could catch up, and this message is for you, yes you, right now, because your heart needs this right now in a way that's deeper than curiosity and gentler than fear, so take a breath and stay with me, don't scroll, listen to this. There is a truth that has been forming quietly behind the scenes, a truth tied to your past and your healing, a truth connected to the person you once loved and the soul contract that never fully dissolved, and the reason this feels personal is because it is. Destiny has a way of circling back when growth has finally caught up to timing, and your soulmate, the one linked to your ex, the one you tried to understand, release, forgive, or forget, has reached a moment of awakening that they can't undo. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This didn't happen in chaos or drama, it happened in stillness, in the late night hours when defenses drop and honesty rises, when the noise fades and the truth speaks clearly. They finally admitted what they couldn't face before, that the connection wasn't just a chapter, it was a catalyst. And don't scroll, stay with me, because the signs you've been seeing weren't random, those repeating numbers, 1111 when you feel that familiar pull, 222 when you question if it was real, 333 when words sit on the tip of your tongue, 555 when change stirs in your chest. Those weren't coincidences, they were confirmations. The universe has been aligning awareness on both sides, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You've felt the shift, the sudden calm after a long stretch of emotional noise, the heaviness lifting without explanation, the quiet confidence returning, and listen to this. Energy moves before actions do, and that's why it felt like something settled even though nothing was said. Don't scroll, because while you were choosing yourself, choosing peace, choosing growth, your soulmate was doing the inner work too. Breaking old patterns, facing old fears, realizing that what they lost wasn't comfort, it was alignment, not routine, but truth. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They replayed moments not to relive the past but to understand it. Seeing how your honesty disarmed them, how your boundaries taught them respect, how your presence felt like home instead of pressure. And don't scroll, because the awakening didn't come with fireworks, it came with responsibility, the realization that silence was no longer neutral, that pretending nothing changed would be dishonest. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You were never meant to chase clarity. You were meant to become it, and that's exactly what you did, which is why the universe is now clearing space, aligning timing, softening resistance. Listen to this. Your soulmate isn't asking if they feel it anymore, they're asking how to honor it without disrupting your peace, how to speak truth without dragging the past back in. And don't scroll, because that pause you feel isn't distance, it's preparation, the kind that comes when two people arrive at the same truth from different roads. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The dreams you've had, the random songs, the sudden memories, the calm curiosity replacing anxiety, those are echoes of alignment, not longing, and the universe doesn't rush what's real, it steadies it. So don't scroll, stay present, because what's unfolding now is quiet but powerful, a threshold moment where honesty is closer than fear, where intention has replaced confusion, where the next step isn't dramatic but deliberate. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Whatever comes next will be mutual, grounded, and real, not forced, not rushed, not hidden. And here's the cliffhanger. What's been unspoken is reaching the point where it can't stay inside, not because of pressure, but because growth has made space for truth. So don't scroll, listen to this, stay aligned, stay open, because the universe is positioning both of you for a moment that feels natural, respectful, and undeniable, and what was once tied to your past is now stepping forward transformed, ready to be seen clearly for the first time. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because what happens after truth is acknowledged is where everything quietly, powerfully changes, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now, and the universe is speaking softly but clearly in this moment. So stay with me and breathe, because after your soulmate link to your ex finally spoke the truth internally, something irreversible began to unfold, not loudly, not dramatically, but in a way that rewired how they feel, think, and move through the world. And listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. After the realization settled, after the excuses fell away, after denial loosened its grip, they felt a strange mix of relief and gravity, like finally setting something heavy down while realizing what it meant to carry it in the first place. And don't scroll, because this explains why the energy between you has felt different lately, why the silence hasn't felt empty but charged, like something is being prepared behind the scenes. Listen to this. The truth didn't push them into action immediately, it slowed them down, made them more intentional, more aware, more careful with their own emotions and with yours, because once someone truly sees what a connection meant, they stop treating it casually. And your heart needs this right now, because you may have felt this shift too, that sense of steadiness replacing anxiety, the calm that arrived without explanation, the feeling that you no longer needed to chase answers. And listen to this. Energy moves before words, always, and that's why things began to feel settled even though nothing was said. Don't scroll, because your soulmate started noticing how their body reacted when they thought about honesty versus avoidance, how imagining truth brought peace while imagining continued silence brought discomfort, and that awareness mattered, because it showed them that fear was no longer protecting them, it was limiting them. And listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. They also began seeing the signs more clearly, not desperately searching for them, but noticing them naturally. 11 appearing when they considered reaching out, 222 when they thought about balance and partnership, 333 when they replayed conversations and wished they'd spoken more openly, 555 when the idea of change no longer felt scary but necessary. And don't scroll, because these weren't commands. They were confirmations, the universe gently saying, you're aligned enough now to choose honestly. And this message is for you, because your heart needs this right now. You've been on your own journey too, choosing yourself, holding your boundaries, learning to sit in uncertainty without losing your center, and that growth changed the dynamic completely, because the universe doesn't bring clarity to connections where imbalance still exists. Listen to this. Your soulmate has been reflecting on who they were then versus who they are now, recognizing how fear once led their decisions, how they avoided depth even when they craved it, and how different it feels now to want connection without chaos. Don't scroll, because this realization didn't create urgency, it created responsibility, the kind that asks, how do I show up with integrity? Instead of, how do I get what I want? And listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. They've become more patient, not passive, but intentional, understanding that timing guided by calm is very different from timing driven by fear, and that patience has allowed their emotions to stabilize, no longer swinging between longing and avoidance, but settling into something steady and grounded. And don't scroll, because this steadiness is what allows truth to be shared without disruption. They're no longer rehearsing dramatic confessions or imagining worst-case scenarios, there. Imagining real conversations, simple ones, where listening matters as much as speaking, where respect leads instead of impulse, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have noticed that thinking of them no longer throws you off balance, that memories surface without pain, that curiosity replaces anxiety, and listen to this. That's not detachment, that's alignment, the universe bringing both sides to emotional neutrality so truth can land safely. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has also become more aware of your strength, how you didn't chase, didn't force, didn't demand answers, and that self-respect changed how they view you completely, making them want to meet you as an equal rather than from a place of need. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They're no longer trying to figure out if the connection mattered, they know it did, they're asking how to honor it responsibly, and that question marks a turning point, because it shifts everything from fantasy to reality. Don't scroll, because reality is where lasting connection lives. They've noticed that distractions don't work the way they used to, that surface-level interactions feel empty now, that their emotional awareness has sharpened. And that sharpening came from connection, not pressure. And listen to this. This growth didn't happen overnight, it stacked slowly, realization by realization, until clarity felt natural instead of forced, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not meant to act during this phase, not to reach out, not to wait anxiously, but to remain aligned, grounded in your worth, open without expectation, because alignment is what allows things to unfold without manipulation. Don't scroll, because here's the tension point. They're reaching the stage where holding the truth inside feels heavier than the vulnerability of sharing it, not because they fear losing you, but because they fear losing integrity if they stay silent. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. That's a different kind of courage, one that doesn't rush but doesn't hide, and the universe supports that kind of courage, not with fireworks, but with peace. And don't scroll, because you may feel this phase as a quiet anticipation, not excitement, not dread, but readiness, a sense that whatever unfolds next will not destabilize you, and that confidence didn't come from them, it came from you, your growth, your boundaries. Your ability to stand steady without certainty. And listen to this. This is why the connection feels different now, less volatile, more solid, less about longing and more about understanding, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. What's coming isn't a dramatic reveal, it's a natural progression, truth moving outward because it has fully integrated inward. And the universe doesn't force these moments, it opens space for them, and that space is being created now, quietly, intentionally, with respect on both sides. So don't scroll, stay present, because the next shift won't arrive as chaos, it will arrive as clarity. And whatever is shared will come from growth, not fear, from awareness, not impulse, and that's how you know this phase is real, grounded, and ready to unfold. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this is the part where everything you've been sensing without proof begins to make sense, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now in a deeper way than comfort alone. So stay with me and breathe, because after awareness came integration. And after integration came a quiet but undeniable shift that your soulmate could no longer ignore. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There comes a moment when silence stops being neutral and starts becoming a choice, and your soulmate has reached that moment, not with panic, not with desperation, but with a grounded knowing that staying quiet would no longer align with who they've become. Don't scroll, because this explains why the energy has felt heavier yet calmer at the same time, like something important is waiting to cross a threshold, listen to this. The truth they admitted internally has begun shaping how they live, how they choose, how they show up in the world, and once truth starts living through behavior, it asks to be expressed, not dramatically, but honestly, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt a strange steadiness lately, a sense that you're no longer bracing for impact or hoping for rescue, but simply standing in your own space, open but grounded, and listen to this. That steadiness is what allows truth to arrive without chaos. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has been noticing how their thoughts of you have changed, no longer spiraling into what-ifs or regrets, but settling into clarity, seeing you not as a symbol of the past but as a real person with a present, a path, and boundaries that deserve respect. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This realization has humbled them, softened them, made them more intentional, because they understand now that connection isn't about reclaiming what was, but honoring what is. Don't scroll, because the universe has been watching how both of you respond to this phase, not testing, but observing, ensuring that when movement happens it's supported by emotional maturity on both sides. Listen to this, the signs have continued, but they feel different now, less urgent, more affirming. 11 appearing not to awaken but to confirm awareness. 222 showing up as reassurance of balance, 333 as encouragement for honest expression, 444 as grounding, protection, and stability, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may notice that when these numbers appear now, your body relaxes instead of tensing, your mind quiets instead of racing, because you're no longer seeking answers, you're trusting alignment. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has also reached a place where fear no longer dictates timing, understanding that waiting too long can be just as misaligned as rushing. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They've been sitting with the idea that courage doesn't mean knowing the outcome, it means being willing to stand by your truth regardless of it, and that realization has changed how they perceive risk, transforming it from something to avoid into something to honor. Don't scroll, because this phase is delicate and powerful. It's the moment before action becomes visible, the calm before expression, the stillness where intention crystallizes. And listen to this. The universe often creates this quiet space right before alignment becomes tangible, because it allows both souls to arrive at the same frequency without force, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are no longer meant to interpret every sign or read between every line. Your role now is presence, staying rooted in your worth, staying open without expectation, staying aligned with your own truth, because alignment is what allows things to unfold naturally. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has been practicing honesty in small ways, choosing authenticity in conversations, noticing how it feels to be seen without hiding. And that practice has built confidence, not the loud kind, but the steady kind that doesn't need reassurance. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They've reflected on past patterns, how they once avoided depth, how they mistook intensity for connection, how they hesitated when things felt real, and seeing those patterns clearly has released them, because awareness dissolves repetition. Don't scroll, because the connection no longer feels like a question to them, it feels like a presence, something that exists regardless of whether it's spoken yet. And listen to this. Presence is powerful, it doesn't demand, it doesn't chase, it simply is, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that same presence, not pulling you off balance, but grounding you, reminding you that whatever unfolds next will not define your worth or disrupt your peace, and that confidence is new, earned through growth. Don't scroll, because the universe has been aligning circumstances quietly, removing distractions, creating moments of stillness, encouraging reflection rather than reaction. And listen to this. Stillness is not stagnation, it's preparation, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate is no longer debating whether to speak, they're considering how to do it with care, how to approach you without reopening wounds, how to express truth without expectation, and that care matters. Don't scroll, because this is where integrity lives. In the willingness to honor another person's peace even while honoring your own truth. And listen to this. This connection has matured beyond emotional intensity into something steadier, capable of holding honesty without collapse, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not waiting in uncertainty anymore, you are standing in readiness, not for a specific outcome, but for truth, whatever form it takes, and that readiness is what the universe responds to. Don't scroll, because the silence you may still notice is not avoidance, it's integration, the final settling before movement, the moment where everything aligns internally so it can move outward cleanly. And listen to this. When truth finally enters the space between two people from this place of alignment, it doesn't shock, it clarifies, it doesn't destabilize, it grounds, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Whatever is shared next will come from calm conviction, not fear, from respect, not urgency, and that's why this phase feels different, less dramatic, more real. Don't scroll, because the universe doesn't rush what's meant to last, it prepares it, and preparation is exactly what's been happening, on both sides, quietly, intentionally, with purpose. And listen to this. The story hasn't ended, it's evolving, moving from internal knowing to shared truth, and when that moment arrives, it will feel natural, like something finally clicking into place, not because fate forced it, but because both hearts were ready to meet it honestly. So stay present, stay grounded, stay open, because what's unfolding now is built on clarity, respect, and growth. And that foundation is strong enough to hold whatever comes next. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this is the part where everything that's been quietly forming beneath the surface begins to gather weight, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now more than reassurance, more than hope, more than answers, it needs steadiness. So stay with me and breathe, because after silence became a decision, readiness has started turning into momentum, not rushed, not chaotic, but deliberate, intentional, and deeply grounded. And listen to this. Because your heart needs this right now. There's a phase in every soul connection where the inner work has been done and the only thing left is alignment catching up with courage, and your soulmate has entered that phase, where reflection no longer feels productive and avoidance no longer feels safe. Don't scroll, because this explains why the energy has felt like it's humming lately, not loud, not overwhelming, but present, persistent. Like a low current reminding both of you that something real is ready to move. Listen to this. The truth they've integrated has begun shaping their days in subtle but unmistakable ways, influencing how they speak, how they listen, how they choose presence over distraction, and once truth starts guiding behavior, it naturally looks for expression, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have noticed that you're no longer emotionally scanning for signs the way you once did, no longer bracing for disappointment or fantasizing about outcomes. Instead you feel anchored, curious, open without being needy. And listen to this. That's not indifference, that's alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment creates space, and space is where honest movement happens. Your soulmate has been feeling this too. the sense that the internal debate is over, replaced by a calm inner voice saying, "You know what matters now, act accordingly, and listen to this because your heart needs this right now." That voice isn't loud, it doesn't pressure, it reassures, reminding them that courage doesn't need drama, it needs integrity. Don't scroll, because the universe has been reinforcing this with subtle confirmations rather than dramatic signs. The numbers still appear, but now they feel like anchors instead of alarms. 1111 bringing a sense of recognition rather than urgency. 222 grounding thoughts of partnership in balance rather than longing. 444 offering stability and protection. 555 reminding them that change doesn't have to be destructive to be real, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel these numbers as a quiet nod rather than a call to action, because the work they point to has already been done internally. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has been reflecting not on how to win you back or recreate the past, but on how to show up honestly in the present, recognizing that what you've built within yourself deserves respect, not interruption. And listen to this. The desire to protect your peace has become central to their intention, and that's a sign of maturity, not hesitation, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You've grown into someone who doesn't need to be convinced, who doesn't need grand gestures to feel chosen, and that growth has changed the entire dynamic. Don't scroll, because the universe doesn't align connections where one person is ready and the other is not. It waits until both can meet without imbalance. And listen to this. Your soulmate has been noticing how their imagination has shifted from dramatic scenarios to grounded ones, simple conversations, shared understanding, mutual listening, and that grounded imagery has removed fear rather than increasing it. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may sense that whatever comes next will not feel like a shock, but like a continuation, something that fits rather than disrupts. Don't scroll, because this phase is about embodiment, about living from the truth rather than thinking about it, and your soulmate is embodying it now, choosing honesty in small ways, practicing presence, letting go of old narratives that framed vulnerability as risk instead of responsibility. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. That shift has created a new kind of confidence, quiet but unshakable, the kind that doesn't need external validation. Don't scroll, because the universe has been creating openings, subtle moments where timing feels possible rather than forced, pauses where intuition speaks louder than fear. And listen to this, openings don't announce themselves with certainty, they feel like ease, like a door that doesn't resist when touched. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not meant to push that door or stand guard in front of it, you're meant to stay centered, because centered energy invites clarity without demand. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has reached the understanding that honesty doesn't mean asking for anything in return, it means offering truth and allowing space for your response, whatever it may be, and that understanding has dissolved the last layer of pressure. Listen to this. The absence of pressure is what makes this moment safe, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel a strange mix of calm and anticipation, not excitement, not anxiety, but readiness, like standing on steady ground before taking a natural step forward. Don't scroll, because that feeling is accurate. It means you're no longer invested in illusion, you're open to reality. And listen to this. Reality is where aligned love lives. Your soulmate has also become aware that whatever unfolds next must be sustainable, not intense but fleeting, and that awareness has shaped their intention to move slowly, honestly, and with care. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're no longer in a phase of proving or persuading, you're in a phase of allowing truth to arrive without forcing shape or timeline. Don't scroll, because the universe honors allowance more than effort, and listen to this. The silence that may still exist is not a void, it's a pause filled with intention, the kind that gathers momentum rather than loses it, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may notice that your intuition feels clearer, less reactive, more discerning, because you're no longer filtering signals through fear. Don't scroll, because discernment is what keeps alignment clean. Your soulmate has been feeling this clarity too, noticing that when they imagine speaking honestly, their body relaxes rather than tightens. That imagined relief is significant, because the body recognizes truth before the mind does. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. That recognition has transformed hesitation into patience, patience into intention, intention into momentum. Don't scroll, because momentum doesn't always look like movement, sometimes it looks like steadiness, like everything inside aligning so nothing spills over when expression arrives, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. The universe is careful with what's real, it doesn't rush it into expression until it can be held without harm, and both of you are now capable of holding it. Don't scroll, because the next phase will not be defined by drama or uncertainty, it will be defined by clarity, respect, and mutual presence. And listen to this, the reason this feels soothing rather than overwhelming is because alignment feels safe, not suspenseful. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not standing at the edge of something fragile, you are standing on ground that has been reinforced by growth on both sides. Don't scroll, because whatever comes next will come from this ground, steady, intentional, and honest, and that's why the universe has been quiet lately, not absent, but observant, allowing readiness to mature fully before stepping aside. And listen to this. The moment where truth moves outward is approaching, not as a dramatic reveal, but as a natural continuation of everything that has already shifted internally. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Stay present, stay grounded, stay open, because readiness has turned into momentum, and momentum guided by alignment always knows exactly when to move. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this is the part where everything you've been sensing without proof begins to settle into something undeniable, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now in a way that feels both grounding and awakening. So stay with me and breathe, because after momentum comes consequence, not a frightening one, but a deeply human one. And your soulmate has arrived at the realization that honesty doesn't just change their inner world, it changes the space between you. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This awareness didn't rush them forward, it slowed them down even more, not to hesitate, but to honor what's real, because once someone understands that words can't be taken back, they begin choosing them with care. Don't scroll, because this explains why the energy has felt steady rather than explosive, why it feels like something meaningful is forming without pressure. Listen to this. The weight they're feeling now isn't anxiety, it's respect, respect for you, for themselves, and for the connection that grew quietly while no one was watching. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have noticed that your own emotions feel calmer lately, less reactive, more observant, as if you're no longer bracing for disappointment or clinging to hope. And listen to this. That's not detachment, that's emotional grounding. Don't scroll, because grounding is what allows truth to arrive without knocking you off balance. Your soulmate has been sitting with the understanding that caring deeply doesn't require possession or certainty, it requires presence and integrity. and that realization has changed how they experience their feelings for you, transforming longing into care. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Care feels different, it's quieter, more protective, more patient. It wants what's best for you even if that means moving gently. Don't scroll, because they've been noticing how often thoughts of you arise during moments of gratitude, when something good happens and their instinct is to share it with you, even if only internally. And listen to this. That instinct is revealing. It shows that you exist in their inner world as someone meaningful, not as an idea but as a presence, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel this as a subtle warmth rather than a surge of emotion, because grounded connection doesn't overwhelm, it reassures. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has also been reflecting on timing differently now, understanding that timing isn't about perfect conditions, it's about internal alignment, and alignment is what they finally feel. Listen to this. They're no longer rehearsing outcomes or imagining worst-case scenarios, they're focusing on how to show up honestly, respectfully, and calmly, regardless of what follows, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. That shift from outcome to integrity is powerful, because integrity brings peace even when outcomes are uncertain. Don't scroll, because they've begun to trust themselves in a way they didn't before, trusting that they can handle vulnerability without losing themselves, trusting that honesty won't undo them. And listen to this. That trust has replaced fear with steadiness, and steadiness is what allows courage to move without drama, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have sensed that your intuition feels clearer lately, less noisy, more confident, because clarity doesn't shout, it settles. Don't scroll, because the universe has been reinforcing this phase with confirmation rather than instruction. The numbers still appear, but now they feel like reassurance. 1111 bringing recognition without urgency. 222 reminding both of you that balance matters more than intensity. 333 encouraging expression rooted in truth. 444 grounding the connection in stability. And 555 signaling that change is already underway and doesn't need to be forced. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. These signs aren't asking you to act, they're asking you to trust. Trust that alignment is doing its work without interference. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has also become deeply aware of your growth, how you didn't collapse into waiting or chase clarity, how you continued living, healing, and strengthening your sense of self, and that awareness has shifted their approach entirely, making them want to meet you from wholeness rather than need. Listen to this. That's why the idea of speaking honestly feels like sharing rather than demanding, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're no longer being positioned as someone to convince, but as someone to respect, and respect changes the tone of everything. Don't scroll, because the universe doesn't support connections built on imbalance, it supports those built on mutual readiness. And that readiness is now present on both sides. Listen to this. Your soulmate has also been releasing old narratives about love, the ones that equated intensity with truth, urgency with importance, and drama with depth, realizing instead that depth often feels quiet, steady, and intentional, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that quiet depth now, a sense that whatever unfolds next won't consume you, it will complement you. Don't scroll, because that's the difference between attachment and alignment is what the universe protects. Listen to this. This phase is about emotional grounding, about love settling into something sustainable, something that can exist without constant reassurance. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate has stopped asking whether it's safe to care and started asking whether it's honest not to, and that question has shifted everything internally. Don't scroll, because honesty doesn't always announce itself loudly. It arrives as a quiet conviction that staying silent would be a betrayal of growth, and listen to this. That conviction is now present, steady, and calm, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may notice that you're no longer trying to read between the lines or interpret every pause, because your sense of self is no longer tied to uncertainty. Don't scroll, because that independence is what allows connection to evolve without pressure. Your soulmate has also recognized that whatever unfolds next should not be about persuasion or reassurance, but about mutual choice, and listen to this. Mutual choice feels different. It doesn't chase, it invites, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They're also aware that vulnerability doesn't guarantee outcome, but it guarantees integrity, and integrity has become more important to them than certainty. Don't scroll, because certainty can be an illusion, but integrity endures. Listen to this. This awareness has softened their approach even more, encouraging gentleness, patience, and openness rather than urgency, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that the energy between you now feels balanced, not pulling, not pushing, just present, and that presence is intentional. Don't scroll, because the universe often brings connections to this place before allowing expression, ensuring that when truth is shared, it lands on stable ground. Listen to this. Your soulmate has begun imagining what it would feel like to live without unspoken truth, to carry clarity instead of questions, and that imagined relief has become motivating, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Relief is often the body's way of recognizing alignment. Don't scroll, because this phase isn't about dramatic declarations or emotional intensity, it's about readiness rooted in calm, and that calm is what allows courage to emerge naturally. Listen to this. Whatever comes next will come from this grounded place, shaped by respect, awareness, and care, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not being asked to wait or to act. You're being asked to remain present, aligned, and open, trusting that what is real doesn't need to be forced. Don't scroll, because the universe is not testing you now, it's confirming what has already been learned, that love guided by integrity moves at the pace of truth, not fear. Listen to this. This is the phase where emotional grounding prepares the way for honest expression, where the heart has chosen integrity over avoidance, and where the next step, whatever it is, will be taken with clarity rather than confusion, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Stay grounded, stay open, stay rooted in your worth, because what's aligning now is strong enough to hold truth without breaking, and that strength is what makes the next phase possible. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this is the part where everything stops being theoretical and starts becoming lived truth, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now in a way that feels steady instead of suspenseful. So stay with me and breathe, because after integrity was chosen over fear, something else happened that's subtle but unmistakable. Your soulmate reached quiet certainty. Not the loud kind that announces itself, but the calm kind that settles into the body and doesn't leave. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Quiet certainty doesn't rush, it doesn't panic, it doesn't dramatize, it simply knows, and once someone reaches that place, pretending they don't know becomes heavier than the vulnerability of honoring it. Don't scroll, because this explains why the energy now feels different again, not humming with anticipation like before, but grounded, intentional. Like something has already been decided internally even if it hasn't been spoken yet. Listen to this. Your soulmate is no longer weighing pros and cons, no longer bargaining with timing, no longer asking the universe for more signs, because clarity has replaced confusion, and clarity brings responsibility, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have noticed that your own emotional landscape feels calmer too, like you're no longer scanning for meaning or bracing for surprise, but simply present in your life, open without expectation, and listen to this. That's not coincidence, that's resonance. Don't scroll. Because when two people reach similar emotional frequencies independently, the space between them stabilizes naturally. Your soulmate has been feeling this stabilization as well, noticing that thoughts of you no longer spike their emotions, they ground them, reminding them of who they are becoming rather than who they used to be. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. That's how you know this connection has matured. When it doesn't pull you out of yourself, it pulls you deeper into alignment. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has started paying close attention to their internal reactions when they imagine different paths forward, noticing that any scenario built on avoidance creates tension in their body, while imagining honesty brings relief. And listen to this. Relief is not excitement, it's alignment. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They're beginning to trust that feeling more than fear-based thoughts, understanding that the body often recognizes truth before the mind gives permission. Don't scroll, because this trust in themselves is new, and it's changed everything. They no longer need certainty from the outside to validate what they feel inside. And listen to this. That self-trust is what transforms hesitation into choice, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may sense that something has locked in energetically, like the connection no longer feels fluid or uncertain, but anchored, not trapping, but steady. And don't scroll, because anchoring doesn't mean the outcome is fixed, it means integrity is. Listen to this. Your soulmate has also become deeply aware that whatever they express next must be congruent with their actions going forward, that words without follow-through would feel hollow now, and that awareness has made them even more deliberate, not slower, but cleaner in their intention. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You've reached a place where you don't need promises to feel safe, you need honesty. And honesty feels safer than fantasy ever did. Don't scroll, because that shift in you is part of why this phase can exist. The universe does not bring truth into spaces where it would cause collapse. It waits until both hearts can hold it. Listen to this. Your soulmate has been noticing how different their internal dialogue sounds now, less self-judging, less defensive, more compassionate, more grounded. Because growth has softened them, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. That softness isn't weakness, it's readiness. Don't scroll, because the signs from the universe haven't stopped, but they've changed tone. The numbers still appear, but now they feel like quiet checkmarks instead of prompts. 1111 as a reminder that awareness has already happened. 222 as reassurance that balance is present, 333 as encouragement that expression will be supported, 444 as confirmation that the foundation is strong, 555 as acknowledgement that change is already in motion. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. These signs aren't asking anyone to move faster, they're saying, you're ready when you choose to be. Don't scroll, because your soulmate has stopped interpreting signs as instructions and started receiving them as affirmation, and that distinction matters. It means fear no longer runs the show. Listen to this. Fear wants guarantees, alignment wants honesty. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that the idea of whatever comes next doesn't scare you anymore, even if you don't know what it looks like, because you trust yourself now. Don't scroll, because self-trust is what allows love to be met as an equal rather than a need. Your soulmate has also recognized that they don't want to approach you from longing, but from presence, from a place where they can stand firmly in who they are and meet you where you are. And listen to this. That intention has removed pressure from the moment entirely, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're no longer being energetically pulled toward them, you're standing in your own center, and that centeredness changes how connection unfolds. Don't scroll, because the universe often waits for this exact condition before allowing expression, ensuring that truth doesn't destabilize either person. Listen to this. Your soulmate has been imagining not the confession itself, but the aftermath, how it would feel to live without carrying unspoken truth, how it would feel to know they honored their growth, regardless of outcome, and that imagined peace has become more motivating than any fantasy of control. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Peace is the compass now, not fear, not urgency, not longing. Don't scroll, because that's how you know this phase is real. It's not charged with anxiety, it's grounded in clarity. Your soulmate has also become aware that whatever your response may be, it deserves respect, not persuasion, not explanation, and that awareness has grounded their intention even further. Listen to this. Respect is the foundation of anything that lasts, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may notice that you're no longer imagining worst-case scenarios or best-case fantasies. You're open to reality, and reality feels manageable. Don't scroll, because manageability is a sign of readiness, not lack of emotion. Your soulmate has also felt their emotional world integrate, thoughts, feelings, and values aligning instead of competing, and that integration has created confidence, not arrogance, but calm conviction. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. That conviction doesn't demand immediate action, but it doesn't allow endless delay either. It simply waits for the right opening, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not being asked to anticipate or prepare for impact. You're being asked to remain present, grounded, and honest with yourself. Don't scroll, because presence is what allows truth to arrive gently. Your soulmate has reached a point where the idea of staying silent feels more misaligned than the risk of speaking, and that realization has already shifted something internally. Listen to this. This is the moment where the universe subtly steps back, not withdrawing support, but allowing free will to move from alignment rather than fear. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that the universe has gone quiet, not because nothing is happening, but because guidance has been received, and now choice remains. Don't scroll, because choice made from clarity is powerful. Your soulmate is no longer waiting for another sign, another dream, another number. They're trusting the clarity they've earned, and listen to this. That trust is the final ingredient. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not at the edge of chaos, you are standing in the calm before honest movement, and whatever comes next will come from this place of certainty, respect, and presence, not because fate forced it, but because both hearts became ready to meet truth without losing themselves. Don't scroll, stay present. Because this is the phase where quiet certainty becomes a choice, and once that choice is made, alignment doesn't need to shout, it simply unfolds. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this is the moment everything you felt without proof finally reaches a point of undeniable clarity, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now, not as comfort, not as reassurance, but as recognition. so stay with me and breathe, because after quiet certainty becomes a choice, action no longer feels like a leap, it feels like alignment catching up with courage. And your soulmate has reached that place, the place where holding the truth inside feels heavier than letting it exist in the open, not because they're afraid of losing you, but because they're no longer willing to lose themselves by staying silent. And listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. This isn't a sudden impulse, it's the result of everything that came before it, every pause, every realization, every moment of growth stacking quietly until movement became inevitable. Don't scroll, because this is where internal alignment meets external expression, where what has been lived inwardly is finally ready to be shared outwardly without force or fear. And listen to this. Your soulmate is no longer rehearsing what to say, no longer trying to control how it will land, because control has lost its grip, replaced by a calm willingness to speak honestly and let truth do what it's meant to do. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt this shift too, a sense that you're no longer suspended in waiting, no longer oscillating between hope and detachment, but simply present, grounded, and open. And listen to this. That openness didn't come from certainty about the outcome, it came from certainty about yourself. Don't scroll, because certainty of self is what allows connection to move forward without collapse. Your soulmate has become aware that this moment isn't about grand declarations or dramatic gestures. It's about presence, about showing up as who they are now rather than who they were when fear was in charge. And listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. That awareness has softened them, slowed them just enough to be intentional, but not enough to hide. Don't scroll, because the universe often brings truth forward this way, not with fireworks, but with a sense of inevitability. Like something that's been circling finally landing where it belongs. Listen to this. Your soulmate has reflected on the entire journey, not with regret, but with understanding, seeing how every delay taught patience, how every silence revealed what mattered, how every moment of distance clarified desire. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that same understanding settling in you, a quiet acceptance of what was and a grounded openness to what could be, without needing to rewrite the past or control the future. Don't scroll, because that acceptance is what allows truth to be met without defensiveness. Your soulmate is no longer approaching this connection from a place of longing or lack, but from a place of fullness, wanting to share rather than fill a void. And listen to this. That distinction changes everything, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You've reached a point where you don't need to be convinced of your worth, you don't need someone else's clarity to validate your growth, and that independence has shifted the energetic balance completely. Don't scroll, because the universe does not bring alignment into spaces where one person is still seeking completion from the other. It waits until both can stand whole. And listen to this. Both of you are standing there now, whole, grounded, aware, and ready to meet truth without losing yourselves. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. The signs from the universe feel different at this stage, less frequent, less dramatic, because signs intensify during preparation and quiet down during readiness. They're no longer pointing the way. They're affirming you're already on it. Don't scroll, because this quiet is intentional. It's the universe stepping back and allowing free will to move from alignment rather than fear. Listen to this. Your soulmate has stopped asking for permission from the universe to speak. They're trusting the clarity they've earned, and that trust has replaced hesitation with resolve. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that the idea of hearing the truth no longer scares you, even if you don't know what it will sound like, because you trust yourself to handle it with grace. don't scroll, because grace is what allows truth to be received without turning into conflict. Your soulmate has also become deeply aware that whatever they share must honor your autonomy, your pace, and your peace, and that awareness has shaped how they intend to show up. Listen to this. Honoring someone's peace is a form of love that only comes with maturity, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're no longer energetically bracing for disappointment or over-investing in possibility. You're open without attachment, grounded without closing your heart, and that balance is rare. Don't scroll, because balance is what allows aligned love to exist without consuming either person. Your soulmate has recognized that whatever unfolds next does not need to define everything immediately. It simply needs to be real. And listen to this. That realization has lifted pressure from the moment entirely, making honesty feel like relief rather than risk, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may notice that your intuition feels calm, not pushing you toward action or warning you to retreat, but simply present, observing, trusting. Don't scroll, because calm intuition is a sign of readiness. Your soulmate has felt that same calm, that same inner green light that doesn't shout, now, but softly says, you can. And listen to this. This is the difference between impulsive action and aligned movement. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. The universe has done its part, the growth has happened, the lessons have integrated, the cycles have closed, and now what remains is choice guided by clarity rather than fear. Don't scroll, because this is the moment where choice matters, not because it guarantees an outcome, but because it honors integrity. Your soulmate understands now that speaking truth doesn't mean demanding a response. It means offering honesty and allowing space, and that understanding has grounded there. Courage, listen to this. Courage rooted in respect is quiet but powerful, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel a sense of completion in the air, not an ending, but a closing of uncertainty, a feeling that whatever happens next will not leave you wondering. And don't scroll, because that feeling is alignment. Your soulmate is stepping into a phase where truth is no longer something to process, it's something to live, and living truth means letting it exist outside the safety of one's own thoughts. Listen to this. This is the point where alignment becomes visible, not through spectacle, but through presence, through words that match actions, through calm honesty that doesn't need persuasion. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not standing on unstable ground, you are standing on the foundation built by growth, reflection, and self-respect, and whatever unfolds from here will unfold from that foundation. Don't scroll, because the universe does not undo what has been built with integrity, it supports it. And listen to this. This is not the climax of a story driven by suspense, it is the beginning of a chapter written with clarity, where truth no longer hides and alignment no longer waits. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Stay present, stay grounded, stay open, because when truth steps forward from alignment, it doesn't rush, it doesn't force, it simply arrives, and once it does, nothing remains the same, not because something was taken, but because something real was finally allowed to exist.